Alright everybody, we're back with another video on the 535i F10 with N55 in it. So far we've done the catalyst downpipes, we've done some cosmetic stuff to it, we've restored the windshield cowl, we've done some painless dent removal on it. So the last thing I have to get this thing to full bolt-on status is an intercooler. So I have a 7-inch stepped intercooler that I got off of either eBay or Alibaba. I'll put the link in the description below. And it looks to be the exact same thing that VRSF sells. So just like everything else on this, I'm doing it at a discount. So this will be the last thing we need to do before we can actually put an MHD Stage 2+ tune on it. So once we get this installed, I'll do another video doing the MHD tune and see what kind of power that we make given the upgrade. So we're going to put this thing on the quick jack, lift it up, take out the old intercooler, get the new one in there, and then we'll be ready for the tune. So the intercooler that I got didn't come with brackets, so I'm going to be using some pipe hangers that I cut to make look like the brackets that normally come with it. And then I have some M6 bolts, I believe, that go into the intercooler. So it's a pretty snug fit, so the brackets are really just to kind of hold it there as a fail-safe. It's going to stick in there pretty tight, so I don't even think you really need the brackets, but we'll put them in to be safe. So let's get started. So we'll do a little shake test. Seems to be on there pretty solid. If you're thinking about getting one of these quick jacks, I highly recommend them. First thing we're going to do is we're going to move the underbelly pan, which you guys have seen me. It's a 5/16 bit. Just buzz off the 10 or 15 screws that holds it on, and then we'll start removing the stock intercooler, and then we'll put in the big one. So one of the first things that you want to do when you're doing this job to make it a little easier is get rid of the charge pipe. So if you haven't changed from the OEM charge pipe, I highly recommend it. You can check out the video of replacing it. It's pretty easy. Follow the guide in that video to remove the charge pipe. That way you can connect the new intercooler much easier. So once you get the underbelly pan off, you'll be able to see there's a coolant line here blocking the T20 screw on this side, but on the other side there's another T20 screw. It's a little rusted up, but so remove those T20 screws and then you should be able to pull out the intercooler. So the easiest way to remove these clips is, it's going to be kind of hard to see without blocking the light, but you want to get two flatheads, one on each side, and pry it down until this clip completely comes out of that little notch, and do that on each side, and it should come out after that. Alright, so here's the old intercooler and here's the new one. The main advice I have is just wear eye protection. There's a lot of debris that falls off, but if you get the two flathead screwdrivers and pry out that clip, it's just about wiggling it out from there. Just be careful with the two coolant hoses on each side, but you can see this one's significantly better, or significantly bigger. So there's a bracket that goes on each side. So you're going to use some M6 bolts to secure the bracket to the intercooler, and then use the original T20s to secure that to the regular mounting location, because this one will hang down a little bit lower than the original will. So I'm just going to clean up the oil and the area around there, and then shove this thing back in. Alright, so we've got the new intercooler in. You can see it sticks down a little bit, so you won't be able to get that cover back on, but just make sure these clips are in and seated in that little groove. You'll know once you press it all the way down, the clip will be able to sit in the groove properly. You'll really want to watch out for these coolant hoses here. This coolant here was pretty tough to get around. So basically I got this side in first with the red outlet pipe. And the one with the charge pipe, you want to disconnect that plastic tube from your charge pipe. It's going to be almost impossible to do it without it. But once you get that plastic pipe out of the way, this coolant tube will have more room to bend. And a little bit will leak out of the connection because it's one of those press connections from moving around, but don't worry. Once you squeeze it up and around, you can kind of pry the tube around the intercooler, and then from the top you can kind of guide the plastic charge pipe onto the intercooler, get the clip in, and then now all we have left is to do the two brackets on each side. So once we get the two brackets on, I'll start the car, test for any coolant leaks or air leaks, and then we can take it for a test drive and tune it. So All right, so we got the pipe strapping to hold in the intercooler. It was in there pretty snug without it, but better be safe than sorry. So only thing left is to put the belly pan back on, but I'm gonna start it up, make sure there's no leaks and everything's in there good. And so if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button, drop a like on the video, and stay tuned for more content. I'm just really trying to show you no love. Say you tired and you need